join me on a slightly different ride today. It's currently just after 7:15 in the evening on Tuesday 26th of August, and I'm about to do the ride the lights in Blackpool. So the problem is, life happens when you're making other plans. So as a result of this, I've had to leave a lot later than I anticipated. So we're going to have to use some trains to get there. So what I'm planning to do, ride to Preston. From Preston, train to Blackpool North. From Blackpool North, we'll cycle all the way up to the top of where the Ride the Lights event is happening. And hopefully we get there before it closes at 10 o'clock. Ride all the way down the promenade from the top of Blackpool North, or the top of Red Bank, all the way down to Lytham St Anne's. We'll see how we go, and hook the tailwind back to Preston. So yeah, keep watching, and we'll see if we can make it before the 10 PM cut off. See you in a bit. Not the best start. However, I'm now thinking, do we get the train to Southport and cut some time off? I might do that actually. Get the train to Southport. Scratch that, the train's just here. I'm not going to make it. I'll be halfway to Southport. So let's keep going. That wasn't even in service anyway. Absolute nightmare. Anyway, onwards. Sit rep. So trying to film one-handed on very narrow handlebars, very narrow tyres, which I'm not really used to, on a horrendous cycle path. If you know it, it's National Cycle Route 62, Trans-Pennine Trail. It is absolutely awful. You can see I'm like wobbling all over the place. That's just due to the path surface. They need to sort this out. So yeah, nearly 7 miles in with an average speed of 18.4, so not too bad, could be better. Southport there. I got told off a couple of times by car drivers. Okay, so 11 miles in, average speed 19.2, so picked it up a little bit, and probably got about 15-16 miles to Preston, so just under an hour. That means I should get there about 5 to 9, get the train back up, and then go from there. Yeah, no problem with using the cycleway is that it's actually a walkway as well, so it's full of pedestrians, which is not a bad thing, but car drivers don't seem to understand if you're ploughing along like I'm doing at 22 miles an hour nearly, you hit someone, they're going to be in serious trouble, as well as you. And it could just be a complete accident. You just don't kind of anticipate how quick you're going. So I'm allowed to ride on the road. So if another car's got a problem, that's just tough. Saying that, it will quieten down a little bit on the path, a bit further up, so I could join it, I suppose. Right now I'm happily bowling along this bit. Nice wind in my favour. Now this bit on the other hand, nice and smooth, away from the road, no issues, hardly any pedestrians, no problem. I forgot about this path's not as good. Overgrown bits, not as smooth. That's why I usually use the white line. You might as well do the right line, sorry, the white line, but just this white line, nothing else. I have to throw in the Oasis reference in, didn't I? Couldn't be 2025 without an Oasis reference. So picking a tailwind up now, it's a sort of a southwesterly tailwind, so I pick this up. That should catapult me towards the next little village, which is Banks.
Next station stop is Blackpool.
So since this trip couldn't get any worse, I brought a power bank for the phone, but I forgot my cables. I've got 18% left. So it's going to be a ride of attrition, this one. Probably only a short video because I won't be able to get much video footage. All I can say is I'm sorry. I gave it a go. At least I'll get the Blackpool ride footage anyway, so every car I'll call out. Anyway, guys, the plan is to get off Blackpool North, do a 5-mile route down to Blackpool South, get on the train Blackpool South, get back to Preston, ride back from Preston. So distance will be around about 65 miles, but I'm not going to get back home until about 1 o'clock in the morning, which is it's not ideal, but hey ho, we soldier on. To Blackpool, just picks up the tailwind, so it's going to be proper blowy when I get onto the promenade. So it's already starting to pick up now. Let's see how we get on. reopened to traffic. But it turns out it's 10:30. So, got some time to get to Blackpool South, dive on the train, get back to Preston. Reopened the promenade now, and I hope I got some decent footage there, because unfortunately the camera battery went again. So I'm just riding around the back of the Pleasure Beach, and then yeah, so it's Blackpool South Station. So see you shortly. Back on the train to Preston. Probably wasn't the best idea, this, if I'm honest, but let's see how we get on. I might have to ride. I've got no space on the little camera either, and I don't think I've got any way of deleting the footage off it without wasting battery on my phone. So it's catch-22. Anyway, I'll try and see if I can check in with you a little bit later, or if I'm just back home. So I'll see you in a bit. Good evening. So it is the next day, so it is the 27th of August, and it is the evening, so I'm speaking very quietly because my family were all asleep upstairs. Last night I rolled in, well, the early hours of this morning, I rolled in at around about 10 to 1, having set off from Preston train station at around about 10 past 11, so we're an hour and 40 odd minutes riding time, which was not ideal, because my wife was rather worried about me and she left me a load of missed calls. Unfortunately, my battery died, so I had no phone. Effectively, so I couldn't pay for anything, I couldn't make or receive phone calls, and that was simply because I didn't have any charging cables to go with my power bank. It was really, really foolish. So yeah, if you plan on doing something like that, make sure you definitely come prepared. Also, make sure that you set off a lot earlier than I did. I should have set off around about 4 o'clock, and it's got that rides boxed off, no problem. However, I realised, as I said in the video, that my daughter had taekwondo grading, so I had to take her there, and life always happens when you're making other plans. So unfortunately, it was what it was. Got out at about 7:15, got to Preston around about 9 o'clock. Now normally I would have actually blitzed through the 27 to 30 mile route to Preston from here, but due to my apparent lack of fitness and lack of time on the bike, I wasn't able to keep up the pace that I wanted to get me there in time, which meant I had to wait around about 25 minutes, half an hour at Preston train station for the next train. Really, really frustrating.
in addition to this, the planning when I got to Blackpool wasn't the best because I rode to South Shore Station, which is not the best. I should have just done a quick loop around and then gone back to Blackpool North. It would have got me back a lot sooner, but I ended up on this really rattly train. I think it was a class 150 if you're into your trains, and that stopped at every single station. Yeah, it wasn't ideal. Tips I can give you for riding in the dark: get yourself a good set of lights, but ensure that you be prepared to the fact that it is mentally taxing. For me anyway, just simply watching where you're on the road, looking for any obstacles when you've got limited light is tough going. It's mentally exhausting, and yeah, that's just not something I enjoyed. I'm just over the road bike, to be honest. I don't fit on it very well anymore. I think I'm more conditioned to riding the fat bike nowadays. I seem to suffer with my hydration on the road bike because you're constantly trying to balance the bike, getting bottles in and out. That might just be me, but I feel a lot more stable on the fat bike. It's a lot more stable riding on it as well when I'm doing filming. So I think most of the rides in the future will be filmed on the fat bike, but I have got 1 or 2 road rides planned which I am going to film, so stay tuned for those. If you have got to this part of the video and you haven't switched off yet, I do thank you for watching up to this point and listening to me ramble on. I do apologise for the quality of the footage, which was recorded on the camera in Blackpool. 2 reasons for that. I think the camera's not really designed for night shooting. I'm still getting to grips with it. It's more of a daytime camera, I think. That's what I noticed anyway. That's where I'm up to. I'm going to go to bed now because it's actually quite late. Next adventure, I've got a couple of rides planned, so I will try and see if I can get those posted in the next few weeks, but it is going to be down to finances potentially and fitness, because I've got to get my fat bike repaired. It needs a new chain cassette and I really want to get back out on that. It's currently sat in bits in my garage. But yeah, so like I say, if you have got this far, thank you for watching. Stay tuned and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao for now.